sniff my way back home. Black skies and velvet and chrome.
And we are live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. You are here on the Board Game Captain for an episode of Game Night Insight, and I am joined by my co-host, Angela, the Board Game Gran, who's right down below me.
Hello.
Riley, who's diagonally below me in this direction over here.
You got it. Hello, hello, hello.
And our special guest who is joining us, Danielle, who is over here in this direction. It's always hard for me to rework these in which direction I'm pointing.
You're good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, any time. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Let's see. Oh, already got somebody commented. Hi, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
So, all right. So welcome to the stream. This is our first stream of 2023. We took a couple months off because we were having trouble getting it worked out and getting a schedule worked out again. But we are here. Our main topic tonight is our top 10 favorite film heroines. It is, of course, Women's History Month, and we've got Danielle here. Real quick, I did want Danielle to get a chance to talk about the fact that she just had a co-designed game called Her Story, and I wanted her to get a chance to give the details about that just got published.
So hopefully you don't hear the cat feeder in the background. So sorry about that. But yeah, so I'm Danielle Reynolds, and in November, Her Story came out. And because it's Women's History Month, what we decided to do at Underdog Games was actually drop the price. So this game normally costs $50. But instead, we dropped it to $19.19 using a special code, which I'm sure you can provide to people for the rest of this month. And the reason for that was the 19th Amendment was signed in 1919. So what better price to put this game? I know, right?
Very
it's pretty
thematic.
good.
That is
it's like
good.
60% off. It's freaking ridiculous. But
what is the code?
It is a link. So it's like a link that gives you a discount to on Amazon. It's like $20-some, but with the code, it like makes it $19.19 when you check out.
Send me after the stream.
I will send you the link.
Send me a link and I'll add it to the description down below. So anyone watching this after the stream can click on the link to go get it for $19.19 US.
And when does that expire again?
At the end of March.
Okay.
So
and again,
Women's History Month ends.
And that's for Her Story right there, which Danielle is the co-designer of. Awesome.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for anyone interested in the game, it's about writing a book about the amazing women through history. It's actually a very approachable engine building game with like set collection. I can teach the game in a whole minute, and it plays about 15 minutes per person. And I love it. The artwork is gorgeous. And so many women worked on this game, which just makes it so much more special. Yeah. Also, information on the back of every card, and there's 120 women in the game.
Oh, brilliant. And I saw Jane Goodall's on the cover there as well.
Yeah.
Favorite of mine. Well done.
Thanks.
Danielle sent me a review copy of this, so I will have a review and tutorial coming at some point. Because of the hectic nature of my life recently, unfortunately, I was not able to get it done in time for Women's History Month, which would have been great. But unfortunately, but I will have it coming soonish. So stay tuned. I'm hoping to get it played very soon and have the review done shortly after. But all right, so real quick to just introduce my other two co-hosts, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you about where you can find their content on the internet. Let's start with Angela. Angela, where can people find you on the internet, and what kind of stuff?
People can find me at BoardGameGran and GirlyGamer. And to be honest, my board gaming has just died a death since I got my Steam Deck. I've been playing video games lately. But I have downloaded a lot of board games on my Steam Deck, guys.
That's something. What board games have you been playing on there?
Oh my! Well, do you know what? I can't actually list them, but everything that was in the Steam sale. So there was a Steam sale last week, and loads of board games went really cheap. So I just grabbed all of them because they were on my wish list anyway. So hopefully I'm getting to them. But I am playing Cat Lady on there. It's very good.
Josh Wood.
Great game. So, and that is the if you do want to find her content, it is the Board Game Gran and Girly Gamer on YouTube. So those are, check out her YouTube channels. Those are absolutely awesome. So I do recommend them 100%. And Riley, where do people find your content?
Well, I've got the Board Game Community Show, which is a podcast where I just chat with people throughout the board game community. And it's very, very casual. I've been at episode 99 for like 6-7 weeks, and I'm hoping to finally record that this week. But it sounds like I'm getting a little bit sick, so I don't know. I'm worried.
no.
Yeah. But we're
Uh-oh.
talk about the convention we last went to about a month ago almost, but that's the plan. I'm excited for episode 100. And then I've got Friend Info Adventure Co., which is an actual play podcast using the Borderlands Bunkers and Badasses system, and that's a blast. But it's way more explicit than the Board Game Community Show.
So before we get into our main topic, let's go over if anybody's got some news we'd like to discuss. And now, of course, we already just did Danielle's news, of course, that her game
I have
was
more
released.
news than the one news.
Oh, you have more news. Go ahead with
I
your more
always
news.
have so much news.
What's the news?
No, so the other news is I'm actually on 2 other streams this week. So I'm going to be on the Charity Board Gamer stream talking her story on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be on a podcast called LSD, and I do not remember what the acronym stands for. At 7 p.m. on Thursday. So I have those things. I also have other games and other stuff. And you can find me at Token Gamer on Twitter and on Instagram. So
Gamer spelled G-A-Y.
yeah, just like in the thing that I have right there. Thank you. Yeah, I was actually just at PAX East, so like my voice is a little bleh, but I was there with tabletop gamers.
Yeah,
and
I was
learning
gonna
her
say.
story and signing autographs and stuff. It was fun.
And then, Riley, you had some news as well, yes?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're kicking off a tabletop RPG. It's going to be mostly actual play podcasts over on the app Good Pods, which is kind of like Good Reads if you ever used that app, but for podcasts. And they're just going to be like featuring indie actual plays for the next 2 days. So the 28th and the 27th and the 28th. I know days. I definitely know.
I was going to say,
Tuesday and
today's the
Wednesday.
28th.
Is today the 28th?
Today's the 28th.
No, it's the 27th.
Is it?
Right? Well,
Yeah.
it just
It's
became
the
the
28th
28th.
here.
YouTube,
Are you Eastern
I'm
time?
sorry. I'm on the East Coast.
yeah, YouTube.
I was like, wait a second.
it's
no.
It's the 28th for the ladies and
I'm in
the
the future.
27th for the gents right now. So because of the various time zones. Yes.
Yeah.
We're just leading the
In
way. as the
anachrony, this
girls.
would be a definite anomaly. That's what they are.
Well, you know, time travel is a thing we do every time we stream, so there is that.
True.
So that is
And yet
awesome.
Angela never gives the winning numbers.
I know.
She
I just keep them
doesn't.
to myself, don't I?
That's not fair, Angela. It's just not fair. So is
If I could, I would.
Angela, did you have any news you wanted to share today?
Honestly, my week has been filled with my granddaughter's birthday, and it was wonderful.
Aw.
So,
Very
no
nice.
board gaming news from me.
Fair enough. Real quick one, I just wanted to give a shout out to the people over at Catalyst Game Labs, because if you are a fan of my channel, you know how much I love BattleTech. And their latest BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter has passed $4.5 million when they only had a goal of
Holy
50,000. And
Get it.
and I just want to also point out, it hasn't even been a week. This is I want to say it's like 4 or 5 days. It's kind of insane.
Wow.
But I would say it's a success. It's been a successful Kickstarter for them. So big shout out to Catalyst Game Labs on their absolutely monumentally successful Kickstarter for BattleTech Mercenaries. All right, so since there's no other news, I think we're going to get started with it. So based on how I've got these set up, why don't we go Danielle and then clockwise? Does that make sense to everybody?
So then I'm second,
Yes,
third, fourth.
exactly. So Danielle, why don't you give us your number 10? Number 10 favorite film heroine, which boy, that was tough. Hold on. Before you do though, did anybody have any issues with this list? Real quick.
Okay, I was gonna say before saying my 10 that in my mind I had to decide that it was gonna be live action, so no cartoons. And then it had to be like a film that like went to the screen, not like Hallmark or anything.
Mhm.
I also said that it had to be a fictional character, like it can't be like based off of a real person because then
That
I'm like
makes
picking
sense.
favorites. So those are all the things that I stipulated for myself. I also already know because I saw someone's list pop up that there's probably going to be some people I didn't think about, but this is my best attempt at it.
So I was talking now. I was talking to Riley, and being that we are the two males in this group doing our top 10 heroines, we were discussing how eye opening it was with how difficult it is to find good female heroines. And
Oh, yeah.
specifically, I had referenced because I was talking to Lynn, my wife, and I asked her. I said, "Do you think it's okay to pick like supporting characters?" And she goes, no, because a hero should be the protagonist. So then I went and restricted myself further and only did protagonists. And boy, did that make it hard. I had to keep some animated characters, and I definitely did some animated characters. But there's like heroic female leads is actually pretty freaking tough.
Yeah.
But I did get a bunch. I did get more than 10. I wound up with like around 20. But it was a lot harder than like a lot of my other lists I've done, and then I had to break it down to about 10. But yeah, it was definitely eye opening. The search was eye opening.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool and sad in a way because it was way hard. Like I would if we did the reverse, it would be so easy. Change that actually, it wouldn't be so easy. It would be really hard
There'd be
for
like
the
too many
opposite
options.
reason. Exactly.
Because there's too many.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I would feel like, well, how do I put this person above this person? And that sucks so
See,
bad.
and there was a ton of heroines that I was like, I just haven't seen the movie, so I couldn't put it on my list. I also made sure that it was only movies that I have seen and like
That's
seen more
important.
than once.
That's
Yeah.
important. That's important.
Yeah,
I
because it's
agree.
like, yeah, there's a ton of ones that I'm like,
Definitely.
okay, like Kill Bill, like I haven't actually seen that movie, so I can't really put it on there.
Yeah.
So, all right, Angela, how about you?
When I first started it, I restricted it even further because I was thinking about the Bechdel test, and I was like, how many of these heroines? But that was pointless.
With no romantic
that
anything.
was-
Oh no.
Yeah,
That would be like 3.
Yeah, okay, wait, but explain it for the people who don't know that test, because when I learned about it in college, my mind was just like,
Well,
Yeah,
it was
so
from a joke, from a comic strip. The original Bechdel test was a joke in a comic strip. It was
really?
yeah, it was. You've never seen if you Google the Bechdel
No.
test comic strip, it'll pop up. That's all it actually came from. It was a joke from a comic strip about two ladies going to see a movie, and one of them goes, the character's name was Bechdel. That was her last name, and she says, "Well, I give it my own test. I call it the Bechdel test." And her test was the movie has to have female characters having a conversation that has nothing to do about men. And then the joke was that there basically weren't any movies like that. Was what the comic strip was. But yeah, that's how it all got started. It got started from a comic strip.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Yeah, so that was pointless.
I really, really wanted to do TV shows because I'm more of a TV person.
I am too. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like I think I would have had a lot easier of a time.
It would have been easier if we had TV shows. There are actually a lot more. I think there's a higher percentage, and I found that a lot because there were a lot of great female protagonists in television, more so than movies. So it would have been a lot easier if we had included television for sure.
Well, because their cast like usually have like a leading person, but a lot of times if it's a big enough cast, like Firefly, right? Like
ensemble.
Yeah, it's an ensemble. Like, Malcolm's the main one, but everyone else is pretty equal.
Sure.
Zoe was badass.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Zoe was badass. Yeah. Yeah. Probably would have made my list if we included television, for sure.
I
So
guess
Danielle,
Yeah.
Serenity.
Oh, it's
I don't
true.
think about that.
Yeah.
Oh
same.
my god, I can't believe I forgot Serenity for this list. Oh my god. Oh well.
I
Can't
didn't,
change it.
but
Yeah, someone's gonna crucify me in the comments for that one. Danielle, start us off.
Okay, so for my 10th one, I did Gracie Hart. Now, that was Sandra Bullock's character in Miss Congeniality, because I just found that.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, come on, look at her.
yes.
Such a badass. And like, I resonated so much for like her character of just, I was such a tomboy. And like, for me to have gone into a situation like trying to be Miss Congeniality, wearing dresses and like doing a random talent, which was like the little water glasses. I loved every part of that freaking movie. It was great. And so, yeah, she's my number 10.
I love this choice. She is, well, I mean, she's an action movie character thrust into the most uncomfortable situation possible for her in having to be in a beauty contest. And that movie is actually hilarious for all those who haven't seen it. The movie is very funny. I actually really like that one, so I love that choice. So, anything else you want to say about Miss Congeniality?
I still love Sandra Bullock. I mean, she's
Me
amazing.
too.
But yeah, like, I'm just happy I had her on my list.
All right, Riley, who's your number 10?
Did she do that new? Oh, what was the one with Channing Tatum? The island one. Yeah.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
It was fun. It was a funny one. Yeah,
It's
she
more
was like
just like
a romance novelist that ended up getting taken.
Oh, I know.
Because it was a fun movie. It was actually one of the better comedies. I feel like there's not really any good comedies anymore.
If anyone in the comments knows the name of that movie, put it in the comments or the chat, because I know what you're talking about.
Now other movies are coming to my mind, guys.
I know, like
that's how I'm
Romancing the Stone
feeling.
just appeared in my mind, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that old movie.
You know, that's how top 10 lists always go. In the middle of the top 10, you're just like, oh my god, why didn't I put that?
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember. Like Sandra, she would have made it. She would have been on here.
She's great.
Yeah.
So Riley, who's your number 10?
She would have been my number 10, I think, actually. But Kill Bill, we got. I mean, she doesn't really. She might have a name. I think in the second one,
she does. It is Beatrix Kiddo.
Okay.
In the first one, they
call her the bride.
As the bride, but her actual name is Beatrix Kiddo. And can you tell I'm a Kill Bill fan?
Nice. Yeah. So I'm obviously not doing it justice, but she's phenomenal in it. Like just strong, intense character. It's been a year or two since I've seen that. I rewatched it. I think I might have showed my wife because I was like, this is a great movie. But it's so interesting just the way that they move. And not only her, but the entire cast. Like so many awesome, strong women in that show. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and I mean that series has some of the best, just over the top crazy fight scenes, some of the best action, and just, I mean, stupendous. Totally.
Yeah,
great stuff. That final fight in the first movie between her and Lucy Liu is just phenomenal, just amazing. After she spent
how did I not think of this one?
After she spent all that time fighting the crazy 88, and then she has that one-on-one showdown with O-Ren Ishii, Lucy Liu's character, on the roof in the snow with the little fountain going in the background. It's just so good. It's so good. Absolutely amazing scene. Totally.
Yeah. Is this on your list? You don't.
Oh, I don't know. It might be a crossover. I don't know.
Oh, are we not mentioning crossovers? Because I was going to mention my first one, and I was hoping that you'd all go, oh, yes, of course she's on my list.
Who is your number 10? Go ahead, Angela. Who's your number 10?
It's got to be my all-time female screen hero, Ellen Ripley.
She's your number 10, though? Only number 10?
Are we doing it in backwards order? She's my number 1.
Oh, come on. It's a top 10 list. You have to start with your number 10.
I've ruined it.
You just ruined your number 1. What are you doing? We're doing our number 10s.
Anyone watching this already knows she was my number 1.
Well, that's fair.
True.
She is in the thumbnail.
Because I bang on about her so much.
Angela, who's your number 10? Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Samantha Kane, or Charlie Baltimore from The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yes, classic.
Yeah. It wasn't a well-received film. Female hero in the 90s. I think it might have been 95, 96 it came out. And it just such a good character. I mean, you're getting two characters because you're getting Samantha Cain, she's got amnesia. She can't remember her past life. And then when her past life starts coming back, you get Charlie Baltimore, who's like this super spy. Such a good film. Such a good character.
I love okay, so I loved this movie when it first came out. I had it on VHS. I watched the crap out of it. And my favorite pair of scenes from this movie is when she's first starting to realize and she's first starting to get memories back while she's chopping vegetables.
Cutting the
for dinner.
vegetables.
Yes. And you know the scene I'm going to say. So
Yeah.
she's chopping vegetables for dinner, right? And like she's terrible at this, and the husband keeps making jokes about how she cut herself and whatever, and then all of a sudden she's chopping like amazing, and she's like, "This is it! My memory's coming back. I can do this." She goes, "I'm a chef. I must be a chef." And then she, like in the middle of doing this, like, and the husband and the daughter are all like dancing around, and she's in the middle of doing it, and then she's balancing the knife on the knife point on her finger, and she picks up a tomato and she throws it up in the air and she throws the knife through it and pins it to the wall. And suddenly the husband and the daughter go dead silent, and she goes, "Just do that." And then later, when that first hitman comes to try to take her out, when people realize she's still alive, she breaks his neck and looks at the husband and goes, "Chefs do that."
It has got some good comedy bits in it as well, right enough. But
Oh,
I also want to add Gina Davis.
Mm.
And she is a personal hero of mine as well for her off-screen stuff that she does for women. Just amazing. She runs, I think it's called the Gina Davis Institute for Women. And she does a lot of like making sure that female directors are getting jobs and things like that. Yeah, she's a really cool woman and a great character.
Very cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I guess we'll move on to my number 10. My number 10 is Nancy. Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Also from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. The two best movies in the series. Really, Nightmare on Elm Street was a movie that did not need sequels, but if it was going to have one, number 3 is the sequel it should have had. The rest of them were kind of meh. Well, meh to terrible, depending on where you were in the series. But Nancy, the thing about Nancy is, in the first movie, she's the protagonist, and she logically, point by point, figures out the monster, Freddy Krueger's weaknesses. First, she fights him on his own turf and realizes that she can drag him into the real world where he's more vulnerable, where she sets booby traps like an experienced guerrilla soldier to fight him in the real world, and then realizes in the final, what should have been the last scene of the movie, she realizes that in reality, the only thing you need to do is convince yourself that he does not scare you and he has no power over you, and that defeats him. And that should have been the last scene of the movie, but they had to go on and do the stupid stinger for a sequel that didn't even make sense when they finally made the sequel. So, but then she came back for the Dream Warriors, which is phenomenal, and she in that movie sacrifices herself to save the kids in the institution. And then as a little just kind of super meta moment, the actress Heather Langenkamp comes back for Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, the sequel movie to the series of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, where she plays herself in a super meta role where she's being haunted by a demon who takes the form of Freddy Krueger from the movie series that she herself helped launch. Also phenomenal. And for all those reasons, Nancy from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies is my number 10. She's awesome. She's smart. She is clever. She is tough, and she is incredibly strong of will and just such perseverance that she absolutely defeats the ultimate boogeyman, Nancy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, well, just see 1, 3, and A New Nightmare. You don't need to see the rest.
I was gonna say, because like horror movies, I started to think about some of the women in it, but most of them just survive, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like a heroine.
Well, Danielle, have you seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
I haven't seen it, no, but I did see like Scream, and it's like Sydney survives 4 movies, and I'm like,
in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, she realizes, because at one point, during a dream, she grabs Freddy's hat, and when
No,
she
no. I
wakes
mean,
up,
you've proven it from what you've said.
Yeah.
I truly believe she's a heroine. I'm
Oh,
just
she's
saying that a
amazing.
lot of
Amazing.
them just survived.
No, she
Yeah.
didn't though. No, she was a badass. She was a
Yeah.
badass. So Danielle, who's your number 9?
So my number 9 is Jane Foster from the Thor movies, but also like mostly the newest one I very much appreciated, the Love and Thunder, where she actually got to be Thor or female Thor basically.
Oops.
But the movie, not my favorite. Her in the movie,
There we
loved
go.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's such a badass. And
Oh,
I
she
don't
was
want to
super.
spoil the movie though.
Super badass in this
Thanks.
movie.
I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan. Love Marvel, and we haven't watched this yet. But
It's
Same.
good.
So
Same.
I
It
think
was
it's highly
good.
underrated. Highly underrated.
okay, it's like it's entertaining. The problem I had with it was there was like these tone switches where it should have been really serious, and then they went too comedic and to the point of like making like one of my favorite characters is Lady Sif. Oh, she would have also been good for this list. Where she's such a badass in the early movies, but in this one, she's like a complete joke that is only there for like 5 seconds.
Well,
And
she's only really got a big part in the first Thor
I
movie,
know,
really.
but like they made her look like an idiot. Like she would know that she can't go to Valhalla. Like how she, I don't know, just that part bothered me. But Jane's character, amazing. I loved in the comic books the whole idea of Jane becoming the like new Thor, and I like that they incorporated it into the Marvel movies. So, but I'm not going to spoil more because there's more stuff that I love her for, but it really spoils the movie.
No, she was great in that. She was great in
Yes.
that, and she was. You know what? I disagreed with a lot of the negativity on the comedy in it. I like when they make the superhero movies comedic. I feel like it keeps with the campy nature of the comic books.
I like it,
Oh,
but
I
they would
love
just like so quickly go from a super serious moment, flipping like someone died and then haha joke. And it's like they flip
But
the
it's-
switch too quickly on that movie versus like the other Marvel movies where I felt like it was paced better.
I get what you're saying, and I respect it.
But, you
But
don't
in my
like me.
but in
Fine.
my opinion, but in my opinion, that's like how the comics were. That's how the comics are. Like they go from super serious to goofy from one page to the next. So like I was fine with it. I was like the tone is great, and I thought she was awesome in that. I totally agree with your pick.
Yep.
I think that's also kind of a Taika Waititi thing, is that sometimes he does that, like,
Oh yeah.
You could be crying and then laugh, but
Mhm.
I could see that, like, it's a tricky balance. Like, even for him, who seems like a master at it, I think things can
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah. But I love Jane.
I'm
I mean, even
excited.
before she got the superpowers, because I mean, she was a badass scientist before that.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
yeah.
Riley, what's your number 9?
my number 9. Oh, this one surprises me because I'm not a big fan of the actress generally, but we've got Maleficent. So the first
An
movie.
anti-hero.
Not a big fan of Angelina.
Phenomenal.
Get off this stream right now.
I know.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
It's weird though, because she's in some great things. Like, I really liked Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I have no idea if that holds up. I haven't watched it in over a decade.
That's a good flick. That's a good flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and like Salt, great. Like, she's in
yeah.
some great things that for some reason, other things I'm just like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of you, but like just in those things. But yeah,
I just love her, Riley. I'm
Maleficent.
just teasing.
I know.
I'm
I'm
just
like
teasing.
defending myself, like, oh my god.
I like her
okay.
for her humanitarian work that she does.
Yeah, she does a lot of cool things.
I've been a fan of hers since Gia. Gia was the first movie where I really
so good in
recognized her.
Gia.
But beyond that, Maleficent, great stuff, and she was really good
Yeah.
in that. 100%.
Yeah,
And
it's
she's-
like it's one of my wife's favorite movies.
Oh.
So and the second one actually not too bad. I think they both are good. It's not as good as the first, but it's awesome. Like, I love a movie that makes me cry, makes me feel, and that definitely makes me
Yeah.
feel like
I
she.
was like, isn't every Disney movie is like aiming to make you cry in the first like 5 minutes?
aiming to, but not always succeeding. This one, I think,
Yeah.
succeeds at getting those emotions
And
going.
I think it does it really, really well,
Yeah.
where it like hits hard because you're just like the moral in it. Like, I like. I mean, it's just same thing with like Frozen, right? Like, the moral of it is different than you think. That kind of twist
Mhm.
thing of being like, yeah, all right, like, screw that old way of thinking. Let's change
Yeah,
it up.
I feel like half of Disney's movies are amazingly adept at doing this, and half of them are like total misses. Like but this is a good one. This is definitely a good one. But I just mean in general, like they always try. But there are a number of Disney movies where, like, when's the last time anyone watched Brave, as an example? Sometimes they totally miss and just don't really get the story
Aw.
right.
I watched it a few
I like
times.
Brave.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
cute. The like
It's okay.
mother-daughter and
I-
the not wanting to get married to a man. I definitely was
Yeah.
about that.
No, nothing wrong with the theme. What I'm saying, though, is that the total structure of the movie, generally speaking, when I talk Disney movies,
Oh yeah, no, that's like Princess Frog. That one didn't do great either.
But I liked that one.
oh, that one I
no, I
love.
did too, but
Oh,
it
that's one
didn't
of my
do well.
favorites.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it
I
didn't do
love
well, and
that
I don't know. I don't know.
The Princess and the Frog is so good. That is such a
Yeah,
good.
it didn't do well
Okay.
though.
I
Or
know.
like Emperor's
Yeah.
New Groove is
Yeah.
still one of my favorite Disney movies, and it didn't do well, and it's so dumb because it would make the best theme park ride. There's literally a freaking roller coaster in it. Like pull the lever, Kronk, and then you could like pull a lever and maybe end up in the wrong spot or take two different things. I don't know, it'd be so fun.
Yeah,
Fair
I'm
enough.
with you on that. Yzma would be in here if we did villains.
Oh, for sure, she's so fun.
Angela, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is Abigail Whistler from Blade. I think it's Blade 2.
3.
I don't think it
It's
was.
3.
Blade
Yeah, the one with
3?
Ryan Reynolds,
3.
who basically plays like a Deadpool character, but
Yes,
it's not
it
Deadpool.
was Blade
Yeah.
Trinity, which is the third Blade
That's right,
movie.
yep.
I'm just having to track down your photo while I'm oh, there she is. Found her.
Yeah.
She's
So
pretty
Jessica
badass.
Biel, she's pretty cool. And in Blade, I haven't seen it for years, but I just remember being really taken by that character because female hero, she's got the bow, she does like martial arts, and she's fighting vampires. I just remember thinking she's cooler than Blade. Like she's a better character. Yeah.
I think she's an awesome character, but that is a terrible movie. The movie is so
Oh.
bad. She is great, though. She is great as the character. The character is good, but that movie was so bad.
I'll be honest, it's my favorite of the Blade. I don't know
What?
whether it's because she's in it
Well,
or
it's
because they sort of mix humor with what's happening. Like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And
Oh, he's
Yeah,
always fun.
exactly. He's
some of
basically
the
like a Deadpool
his
character.
sassy mouth that he's got in
Yep.
it.
No,
Yeah.
the characters are good, but the script was not very good. The villain was not very inspiring. It was, in my opinion, it was like the flattest of the 3 scripts. And
Mhm.
also, even though both Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel were really good in it, because of how much Wesley Snipes was butting heads with the director, he was not as good in it. And a good portion of the scenes, he's not even in them. It's his body double because they were butting heads so much. Yeah, so there's some there were a lot of issues on set with that movie. And a big part of it was the fact that he was upset that Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds were basically stealing the show from him.
Yeah, well, that's true. They were the better characters.
They were more fun.
Yeah.
That's
So-
my favorite of them, but I really don't remember the others. So,
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, it must have been my favorite because that's the only one I really remember.
right? Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
like actually, it feels like there's good moments and stuff.
Yeah.
like
I got like the DVD box set with all of the Blade movies and also the like TV series, like the first like pilot episode or whatever it was. Like I got like all of that from a discount
wow.
book and DVD store when I was a kid, when I was like in high school.
Wow. I didn't even know there was a TV.
That's what I was
thing.
gonna say.
Oh yeah, there was a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So my number 9, this is one of my favorite Disney princesses of all time, and it is because I feel it is the right combination of it having a really solid script, really good movie, funny, great action, while also having one of the least passive Disney princesses of all time, one of the most proactive Disney princesses
I
of
was
all
gonna say, I'm
time,
like, is this Mulan?
who is full on her own hero. No, it is not. Anyone else has it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's Moana.
I
Oh,
do
okay.
love Moana. All right, all
It's
right.
Moana.
That's fair
She's
enough.
badass. You got to remember, like, they have this, and the thing I think is so amazing about this movie is they bring in this supernatural, super strong male character, and they totally resisted the urge to have
Same guy.
him do all the saving. If anything, he's the goofy comic relief. She's the actual hero.
Yeah.
He's the one who screwed everything up, and she comes in and fixes it. And that was great. They did a really great job with the characters. They did a really great job with the movie. It was the right balance of action and comic relief for me, and she is of the characters, because I don't necessarily consider every female Disney character a Disney princess. Plenty of them aren't actual princesses. For instance, one of my favorite female Disney characters is Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. Not a princess, but of the actual princesses, because Moana's a princess, she's my favorite Disney princess. She's awesome. She's absolutely awesome.
She is cool. I wanted to put Mulan on my list, but I haven't actually seen the live action Mulan, so I didn't put it on my list.
I heard not to. Everyone says
That's the
don't
thing.
watch
That's
it.
why I haven't seen it, because I'm
Oh,
afraid,
I
because like that's
loved
my
it.
favorite of the Disney cartoon princesses, and I like was obsessed. Like, still my go-to karaoke song is "Make a Man Out of You."
Nice.
So fun.
Go for it. We're ready.
Oh no, not right now. More drinks and more of my voice back. And then, yes.
Danielle, what is your 8?
So my 8, and I'm wondering if you're gonna make fun of it, but it's Felicity Shagwell from Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me.
I am not going to make.
You're
fun
not
of
gonna make fun of this one?
This
I
is-
am so curious
so-
which one you're
so
making fun of.
For those watching, I told Danielle beforehand that I'm going to give her some crap for one of her choices, and she's dying to know which one. This isn't it. This isn't the choice I'm going to give you garbage.
Okay, well, yeah. So Felicity
like this
Shagwell, her entrance into the movie is by far my favorite entrance of probably any girl, because it's like stayed in my mind since I was a kid. She's just like American Woman. The song gets played. She comes down the pole, just like the entire room just looks at her basically. Like she just like captures everyone. And now knowing that I'm gay later on, I mean, definitely was my first crush. So I had to include her on the list. She's just such a badass spy, and she really did put her body on the line for the world.
Well, these are some great action comedies, and Heather Graham was awesome, and definitely is one of the protagonists of that film. Absolutely love this choice. I would not give you crap for this at all. You're still trying to figure it out.
I'm super trying to figure it out. I'm like, who are you going to make fun of?
No, I think this is a good choice. I first off, I love Heather Graham in everything she's in. I'm a big Heather Graham fan. I think she's fantastic. She was great in Boogie Nights. She was great in this. She's like, just generally speaking, even when she's in a bad movie, Heather Graham is great. Heather Graham is
she
great.
is.
So I would never give you crap for a Heather Graham character, and absolutely awesome.
Okay.
Riley, what is your number 8?
Number 8. Oh, okay, yeah. We got Okoye. Okoye? Oh,
Okoye is right. Okoye is
right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
From Black Panther. She's amazing. Great. I mean, more of a supporting role, sort of, but for me, she steals it. The scenes sometimes, like in.
Oh, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
He was great in the
Phenomenal.
newest movie. I mean,
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah.
So she is on the list. Now, here's the thing. I had artificially restricted myself by refusing to do non-protagonists, so I couldn't put her on my list. If I had done side characters, she would have been on my list. Absolutely. Hands down. She is one of those Marvel characters that I'm always screaming, give her her own movie. My top 2 are her and Valkyrie. I want them to have their own movies.
Oh, that'd be
Absolutely.
so cool. That'd be an epic team up.
Oh, yes.
man.
Absolutely. They're both so badass.
Yes.
Definitely.
I feel like she had another movie. Oh, wait, does she?
What's up?
She might. Oh, yeah, never mind. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
She might make my list twice.
Oh, the actress, you mean?
The actress, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think so. No.
Does she? Okay.
No, you did not. I know what you were thinking, but again, we cut out TV shows, so you did not pick Walking Dead, so that's not in there.
Oh, right. Okay.
No TV shows, so we cut. So
Okay.
yeah, no. I understand because she's awesome in that show too.
My list was in. Yeah, like my list is. I put together like names I thought of at first, and then so cool. Never mind.
Oh, she has. But side note. One of the most badass characters in Walking Dead, also. So definitely. Angela, what is your number 8?
My number 8 is Lorraine Broughton. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know the character's name.
Oh, come on,
Right.
it's Lorraine. They say Lorraine so many times in that movie.
Well, call me dumb. I didn't know that was her name. I had to look it up because
Angela,
to me she's just atomic blonde. So
Angela,
Fair
I would-
enough.
I would not call you dumb. I would never call
Well.
you dumb.
That's okay.
Plenty
I was
do.
having a problem with that too because I was trying to think of the woman in The Mummy because I thought of her as maybe making my list, but I could not remember her character's name. I just
Yeah,
remember
it happens
liking her.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So,
But,
what makes her the badass character for you? The really great.
I just love her because I watched like the run up to the film. I was excited about the film before it even came out because I was like, lead female action hero. Like, it's rare, as we discussed earlier. And
Yeah.
Charlize Theron would put her training videos on her Instagram stories.
Oh yeah.
And man, they kicked her ass.
Well, she
and
does
she
all her own
took
stuff.
it.
She does all her own stuff.
Oh,
100%.
she was amazing. And it wasn't, I mean, I know stunt work, they pretend, right? But a lot of it was full on getting thrown around, thrown into walls and all that. And man, it came out in that film because it's got some of the best fight sequences of any film I've ever seen because they get tired. They
Preach
get
on, sister.
tired when they're fighting.
Preach on,
And
sister.
Sorry, preach on.
Preach on, sister. Testify.
That's why
This
it's
is.
good, right?
I totally agree. I could not
Yeah.
agree more.
They get bloody and they get tired and knackered and they have to rest mid-fight. And it's just, I just loved it. I thought it's got some of the best fighting for an action film. And she's a great character.
Oh yes.
I haven't seen this yet, and
Oh my God, you
it
need
is
to
like
see it.
I literally this past week I was like hunting it down to see if it was streaming anywhere or like before I even knew that was on your list because I was thinking of my list and I was like, I need Charlize
It's a
Theron
good,
on there
it's a
somewhere.
good
Okay,
film.
you need to watch Atomic Blonde as soon as possible because this movie is amazing. This is not just one of. I mean, let's just ignore the fact that it's on Angela's list for being one of the best film heroines. This is just one of the best like spy thriller action films of the last 20 years. It's that
Yeah, it's
good.
pretty good.
It's that good. It's so good.
I mean, it's up there in my list. I definitely am gonna watch it. But I mean, Kimmy wants to watch it too, so it's
You
like
have to watch it. And when you're watching it, you're gonna remember that Angela and I were raving about it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
You.
my number 8, I think everyone was I think we got a total agreement there. My number 8 favorite film heroine. I'm just looking for the picture. There it is. My favorite film heroine is one that takes me back to my childhood. I've got a couple of them on here, but this one brings me right back to the 1980s with a protagonist that was less than 10 years older than me, and in a movie that I have watched so many times I could no longer count it on my fingers and toes. I completely lost count how many times I've seen this movie and still adore it. We're talking about Sarah from Labyrinth. I absolutely freaking positively
That movie scared me as a kid.
adore this movie. Have you watched it again though later?
As an adult, actually, no, I haven't. I literally just remember being scared of it as a kid.
Oh, you should watch it again because this movie is absolutely awesome. And the main character, well, first off, the main character goes through a wonderful arc, which is so rare in modern day movies, where it's a proper believable arc where she starts as a self-absorbed, non-empathetic kind of character living in a dream world who enters a real sort of fantasy dream world and has to learn to deal with reality and learn to become empathetic and become the hero of her own story, and eventually defeats the villain through her own force of will and cleverness. And it's so good. It is so good. And it totally holds up. This movie holds up so well. I think the most recent time I watched it was like a month ago. And this movie just absolutely holds up.
Did you not find it creepy when you watched it a month ago? Because it's one of my favorite films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it last year and I found it quite creepy.
See, thank you. As a kid, I
As
thought it was
in-
creepy.
Well, hold
Yeah,
on.
but I
Which
mean,
way?
the David Bowie Sarah interaction in the film, I thought was, I don't know.
To be fair, I have always found David Bowie's character creepy ever since I was a child, and I think that's completely intentional. Because let's be fair, he's the villain. Like, there's a lot of people I've seen, like people online saying how, it's problematic that David Bowie's character basically comes off like a pedophile, but it's like, but he's the evil villain. He's supposed to be terrible. You're supposed to not like him. So I don't get that at all. Like, I
But
can understand.
he's also likable. That's the thing, is that they're kind of making this guy who's kind of coming off as a pedophile, be also very kind of a little bit
Yeah,
likable.
but he's also 100% totally overtext, 100% despicable, disgusting, villainous, vicious, vindictive, all the great V's. He's a bad guy. He's 100% the bad guy. So like the fact that he comes off with this creepy groomer air of being like a creepy groomer doesn't bother me because he's the freaking villain. You're supposed to not like him. So yeah, I feel it, but don't have a problem with it.
It's funny how you've chosen two heroes now who both say at the end of the film, "You've got no power over me."
Yes.
Because
I think you're seeing a little bit of where the great heroics are for me. Yes, 100%. Heather Langenkamp as Nancy and also Sarah. Yes, absolutely, totally. Yeah, it's all about, in my opinion. I was gonna say the greatest heroics are generally. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all love fight scenes and action scenes, but the greatest heroics is like your own strength of will.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Great film.
Thank you, Danielle. What's your number 8?
I think it'd be number 7.
Oh, right, because you started us off. Danielle, what's your number 7?
I did. So my number 7 is Batgirl from Batman and Robin, the supremely campy film that honestly is more of a spoof movie than anything. Yes. Because, I mean, she saves those boys hardcore from Poison Ivy and all of the terrible ice puns from Mr. Freeze. Such a ridiculous movie. I mean, there's a bat credit card. They have so many zoom ups of like the bat suits with the nipples, but her outfit didn't have nipples, which I found very amusing. But yes, Batgirl,
Danielle,
if you haven't noticed,
we've come to the one I'm going to give you crap for.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, go for it. Give it to me.
This is great. This was an early crush for me. My family went to go see a different movie, and I was like, I really want to see Batman and Robin. And so literally at the theaters, they were like, okay, here's your ticket. And I went and watched this by myself while they went and watched something else. I have no idea. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is dreamy. But I also thought Chris O'Donnell was pretty dreamy too. I mean, and George Clooney. I mean, this is like an Uma Thurman. I mean, right,
Uma Thurman. What about Uma Thurman?
I'm saying 4 people who are, I was just like, all right, yeah, this is my formative years here. I get it.
Okay. Physical attractiveness of some of the actors involved aside. Here's why I'm going to give you crap for it. One, this is the worst Batman.
Is this the one?
This is the
it
worst
is a terrible
Batman movie ever, and I am including the movies they made from the 1960s shows.
No. I know it is the worst. That's why I said basically a spoof movie. It's a terrific drinking movie. If you ever need a drinking movie, best drinking movie ever, also, like best drinking game ever.
Also, and this is the other reason I'm going to give you crap. I feel like she was so underutilized in this film. So
I agree that she was, but she did still save the day in the end.
In like one scene. The thing is, this is one of those movies where they tried to put way too many characters in, both on the hero and villain side, and then a lot of the characters did not get enough screen time. And Batgirl is one of the characters.
Also, though, Josh, that is not unusual for female characters in some of these movies. They're always a side project, or, they're there to push the male characters forward.
No, and that's true, but that's why I'm giving Danielle crap for it. That's exactly
fair enough. No,
she picked one of those.
That's fair, but also like
she saved everyone.
But it's I'm just doing some good-natured ribbing. Feel free to rib me on any of my choices if you think they're crap. You know how these streams go.
As soon as I saw those, I was like racking my brain. Okay, so Batgirl movies. And I couldn't even remember Batman and Robin. How did I not think of that one?
Such a terrible movie, but in such a good way. It's so campy bad, but
it's so bad. Riley, what's your number 7?
My number 7. I almost wish I did this as number 8 just so that I could do it beside Angela. It's Furiosa. Such a, complete badass, right?
She's such a good actress, isn't she?
She is, and that
totally.
Immediately, I was thinking, I need Charlize Theron somewhere in here because I love her so much. I think she's such a phenomenal actor. Just gives it her all, no matter what the role. And in this one, it's, who is the star? Tim Boy? I don't know.
Okay. Mad Max has his name on the movie, but Imperator Furiosa is the protagonist of that movie, and this one almost made my list. Great choice.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
God. She is so badass in that movie.
Yeah, for real.
And she's got to be, I would say that Charlize Theron is also, in general, because of her imposing size and presence, she is one of the most believable female action stars when she does an action movie. Like, you believe she could kick the ass that she is kicking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
And apparently she's quite not aggressive, but she doesn't take shit in real life. Apparently,
Good for her.
she's
Yeah. I've heard that.
yeah.
I've heard she kicks ass and takes names. I have heard this.
I've heard she's also very
She
funny
probably
and
has
nice.
to. Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
yeah,
for
like
sure.
that's
No, we're saying kick ass and take names like in a positive
in
way.
a positive way. Absolutely.
Not like she's mean to people she's friends with. Like when people give her shit, she doesn't take it lying down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
I
what we're
I
saying.
totally got that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
like, both sides. She's balanced. So
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
it. Very strong person.
Yeah, good.
Angela,
my-
what is
Good choice.
Angela? What's your number 7?
My number 7 is a character that was killed off, and I still don't forgive it for happening, and it's Black Widow.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler. No, this way
Yeah.
too long.
Yeah, I was
after
about to
that
say,
one.
I'm like, at this point, that's not a spoiler.
I'm hoping that it's not a spoiler at this point. Yeah, I was angry when it happened, and I'm still quite angry about it now.
I have to say, I do feel that the Black Widow movie is one of the most underrated of the Marvel movies. A lot of people were giving it crap, and I didn't see it. I think I don't see the crap. What I mean to say. I think that this is actually one of the better of the recent Marvel movies.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I really liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it
but
was really
even
good,
in
and
the
it should
other
have happened
movies,
ages earlier.
she's a great character. Other than
Mhm.
obviously they need to squeeze romance in there somehow to make her a full
Yeah.
woman.
Ugh.
That was my
bet-
problem with every single appearance with her, is that it was like, she is there to be the attractive woman to Tony Stark. She's there because
Yeah.
Bruce Banner and the Hulk have some sort of romance there. Oh, what about Steve? Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah.
She's just a
Like they
bad,
would
like, make her
squeeze
just a
it in, and it
badass.
was so annoying.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah, but
I'm gonna disagree with half of that. Only half. I agree that the squeezed in romance between her and Hulk was so weird and out of left field. But the thing with Tony Stark, she was not there to be attractive to him. She was lulling him to a false sense of security while she was spying on his ass, and
Yeah,
he
that
was
was pretty funny.
underestimating her. And that was the point of her in the Iron Man movies, was that she was keeping an eye on him for Nick Fury. Which her being attractive and lulling him into a false sense of security was part of her shtick to make sure he would underestimate her and never expect that she had been placed there in Iron Man 2.
I just love how many spy movies are coming up, like spy characters and superheroes. It seems to be like the main things.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm gonna have a big departure for that for my number 7 though. Mine's not spy or superhero for my number 7. Mine
Disney
is
princess.
no, not a Disney princess either. Mine is just an ordinary mom who is fighting against an apocalyptic event to save her husband and kids. It is Adelaide from Us. Again,
Oh
because
no, you're gonna spoil this movie?
My
Oh.
friend
Don't
told me
spoil it.
the story
Don't-
of this movie, and it freaked me out to the point where I cannot watch this movie.
I
haven't
okay.
seen this movie, but I really want to.
I
Can you
won't
go
spoil
live?
the end. I won't spoil the end for you, my love. I will not spoil the end for you. But
Thank you. Thank you.
here's the thing. I really love this movie. I had to think about it more after seeing it the first time to fully appreciate the subtleties and some of the things that I had problems with, to realize that I didn't really have a problem with these particular plot points. That in reality, the plot points that I thought I had an issue with were actually explained. This is a very complex movie with very complex twists and turns. But the main character is just an ordinary person living an ordinary, what most people think of as their goal in life of the, settle down in the suburbs with 2.5 kids kind of situation, when a unbelievably bizarre, horrifying experience happens where, to start with, doppelgangers of their family attack them and hold them hostage, and she fights back against someone who literally looks like her own mirror image to protect her family, and then fights against, when she realizes it's a larger thing happening, fights against the world to save her family. And she is so badass. I love her in this. She's so
Oh
great.
man, I've
She's
just
so
thought
great.
of another one that should have been on my list, and I'm kicking myself right now.
But like this is a movie like I didn't fully
Oh.
appreciate it the first time I saw it. When I first saw Us at the end, I was like, "Oh, it's good," but I have some issues. But the more time that's gone on, the more I appreciate this movie, and I really like Adelaide. Adelaide is great, and that's why she's
Maybe we can do an
number 7.
honorable mention at the end for the ones that we thought
For all
of.
the ones we didn't think of
I
until
was
the
legit
If you would
thinking,
like-
between number 2 and 1, like before we do our number 1, go around and do our number 1. Maybe we can do honorable mentions.
Hey, if you want to throw in some honorable, we'll give a pause for that. We'll do
Okay.
that. We'll do that.
Thank you, because there's some.
That's
Yeah, I keep mentioning them as I think of them.
Danielle. Who is your number 6?
So my number 6 was Elle Woods from Legally Blonde.
I love this choice.
Nice.
I love this.
Love me some Reese Witherspoon. I've actually met her in person, and she just glows as a person, like just so amazing. But in this one particularly, I actually like somewhat recently watched it like last year, and it still holds up. It's still quite entertaining. There's a musical based off of it now, and it's just awesome. This like strong, powerful woman that, yeah, she's very feminine, and people don't take her seriously, but like that does not stop her. And sure, she did technically apply to the university that she went to, and like Harvard or whatever, for a man, but then fuck that guy. She ended up like surpassing him hardcore. She's a badass.
That's a great choice.
and
I like
just
like
good.
that one.
Absolutely.
Are we allowed to say that on this show?
I
Sorry.
do believe. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I do believe that Bechdel would give you a pass on this one because I believe well, first off, she had legal conversations that had nothing to do with a man. But also the entire arc is important for why it is that like you said, fuck that guy.
She just like she comes into herself. Like she was so confident to begin with, but just I love her.
Oh, absolutely.
And the second movie was okay. It's not great, but the first movie's great.
Aren't they saying
Absolutely.
they're going to make a new one as well?
Huh? I'd watch it.
I'm sure I read that on Deadline a few weeks ago.
I feel like
Yeah, I've
they've
watched it
talked
too.
about it for a while. I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah.
Okay, Riley, what is your number? Are we at 6 now?
6, yeah.
6?
Hey, wouldn't you know it? It's Adelaide. I freaking
Adelaide?
love this movie.
Yes,
Yeah,
she was already on my list.
Did you-
She was already on my list. Adelaide from Us.
Adelaide
Oh,
from Us.
okay.
Yeah, she is just so good in this movie. Yeah, I think the entire
Absolutely.
cast is absolutely phenomenal. I love Jordan Peele's stuff. Like, I think he's killing it with his movies. I haven't watched Nope yet because I can't get Kimmy to because she's a little scared, or she's worried about like aliens and she hates aliens.
It's my least favorite of the 3. It's
That's
my least favorite of his
fine,
3.
yeah.
The other Us and Get Out are much better. But
Yeah.
it's still
Ooh.
okay. It's still
I like Get Out, but I watched it with my friend Eric, and he actually held my hand. That's never happened before.
Oh.
He was like, "This is too real." He's like, "I can't," and I was like, "I'm sorry, buddy."
I showed the trailer. So my wife and I watched Get Out, and she was like, "That was phenomenal."
Oh, it's very
Neither one of us are huge horror fans, and I was like, "Well, now I definitely have to watch Us," and she wouldn't watch it because the trailer was. I mean, that like even
was
just
creepy
talking
as hell.
about it and having that poster up, I was getting chills just thinking about the
Poster.
trailer and the scene. Yeah, that one. I'm just like,
That's a great
oh my
poster.
gosh, it's so good. Like,
It's so good.
but that's the thing that I love about these movies is the twists that they take in that. Like, I mean, he comes from a comedy background, and it's that whole like comedy twist. But I think she's the absolute star of this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is this our first crossover?
Yep.
I think it's
Yeah,
our first. Yeah, this is
yeah.
our first actual
Oh,
crossover. Nice.
wow.
Very nice. I've got some good crossovers with you guys, so there will be more coming. I promise. There are more crossovers coming. I know for sure, for a fact. Angela, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is Lara Croft. And I'm talking about the character overall because she means a lot to me. But Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. I loved those films. I know people hated those films, but I enjoyed them.
I loved
think
them
they're
too.
great. And I love the character.
I think
Despite numerous issues, gender issues, but that character just brought female action heroes to video games for me, and still a long way to go, but she's definitely like a hero.
I think the first one is an absolute joy of a thrill ride. The second one had a lot of issues, but still had some great action scenes. But that first one, for a video game movie, is still probably one of the better video game movies ever done. Really well done.
Yeah, I would agree, but then I love it, so yeah.
All right, so my number 6 is another one that's going to take me all the way back to my childhood in the 1980s. Here we had a 1980s badass modern woman dealing with the apocalypse and video game high scores. We have Regina from Night of the Comet. I love this frickin' movie more than is healthy.
Is that Catherine Mary Stewart?
Yes, and she was so
I had
gorgeous in this
such
movie.
a crush on her when I was young.
Oh, me too. Me too. Believe me.
Such a crush.
Oh my god! And this is, in my opinion, this is her ultimate role. This is her ultimate role. She is she is Reggie. She is this badass woman who, when the apocalypse happens, she gets to use some self-defense to beat up a zombie, fire off MAC-10s, take on a bunch of military goons, comet zombies, and the world in general, and also is super good at the video game Tempest, which I was always obsessed with. Reggie is awesome. Reggie is great. Reggie is one of my favorite 1980s film heroines of all time, and she's one of my favorite film heroines of all time, which is why she made it all the way down to my number 6 on this list. I love this movie.
Wow.
Absolutely adore this movie.
I haven't seen that movie for a long, long time. But if she was in something, after seeing The Last Starfighter, if she was in something, I would watch it.
You should watch Night of the Comet again. It holds up. Because the thing about it is, it's one of those movies where the camp is intentional. So because you laugh with the movie at its self-referential humor, it totally holds up and it's fine.
Okay, cool.
100%. Have you guys
She looks
seen
the
that?
same now, by the way. That's terrifying.
Oh yeah. She is one of those people who is aging supernaturally well.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing. If
Yeah.
you guys haven't seen it? You guys haven't seen that? Oh my god!
I don't even know what it is.
I mean, I'm already,
Comet.
I have a list of things I need to see. So
You guys need to put Night of the Comet on your list, and you need to check it out. And when you do, you'll know why I love Reggie. Reggie is fantastic. She is so good. She's such a great protagonist. Absolutely adore her. But we are down to our number 5s. Danielle, what is your number 5?
So my number 5 is Annabeth Chase from the Percy Jackson movies. But more importantly, the movies are meh. More excited for the TV show coming out, but the books are phenomenal. And her part in it, like, these boys would not have gotten anywhere without her. She is called Wise Girl for a reason. Daughter of Athena, Annabeth Chase.
Wow.
Love her. Also have a massive crush on the actress. Her eyes are just so pretty.
Daddario, was it Rosario?
Alexandra Daddario.
Alexandra Daddario. I couldn't get it out.
Yep. Yeah, she's such a badass. And like her weapon of choice is a dagger in the movies and in the books, but really it's like she's just so smart. She gets them out of all kinds of shenanigans, and I love it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that.
If you're a fan of Greek mythology,
more of a kids thing. Oh, for sure. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I like the books. Honestly, like the books, if you like audiobooks, they're really quick to get through. I still keep up with all of the ones that come out. There's a new one coming out soon.
She is absolutely badass. She is absolutely badass. No doubts. So, Riley, what is your number 5?
Yeah, let me pull it. Oh, here we go. We don't know that if it's a crossover or not. Who can say? But it's Ripley.
Hey!
Actually, I was gonna say, since Angela already told us, I'm pretty sure we all know this is a crossover.
What? No.
Hey, she's in the thumbnail. We knew she was going to be on a lot of lists because Ellen Ripley was everyone's heroine in the 1980s.
Oh
my god.
Yeah. I mean, what is there to say? I just like everything. She's the best. She is so amazing. That's the gold standard. That's what set the bar type thing. I might have put her higher, but
it's only your 5th.
Yeah, I know, but the other ones kind of have different reasons.
No, I feel you. I had a hard
so-
time listing them. I'm not sure mine are actually in the right order.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal choice though. She's so great. And for so many reasons from different films. So great.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's favorites are always 1 and 2, but even if we just talk about those two, just phenomenal. Such a great character.
And whenever she makes an appearance, Sigourney Weaver, I'm just like, yep. Even still today, I'm just like, damn, girl, you still got it going on. Like,
I am
both in your talent, like, because sometimes you see those like actors from back then and they get into a movie now and you're like, ooh, like,
no, she's great.
You didn't keep up with like the
Yep.
acting side, not the look side. Sorry. I was talking about like the acting. Like their acting is so bad. It's
Oh my God.
like it's stuck in that generation. But she is like phenomenal still.
Did you guys see the movie Cabin in the Woods? When
Yeah.
she shows up at the
Yeah.
cameo at the end, and I mean, being one of the ultimate film horror female leads of all time, to show up at that cameo in the end, I almost jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my God, it's Sigourney Weaver!
Good movie.
So good. And that,
Oh man, I've just thought of another one. You guys are killing me here. You're killing me.
It's okay.
Write it down. Write it down.
I was
for
gonna
the
say, all right, well,
honorable
what's your
mentions.
fifth?
Angela, what's your number 5?
My number 5, and don't hate on me for this, it's Rey from Star Wars.
No, I mean she's cool. There's just other Star Wars females that I like a little more.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well,
Bite-
yeah,
bite
me
my
She,
lip.
no, I
too.
liked her.
There she is.
I like her, and my reason for liking her is this. My granddaughter loves Rey, and she's got zero interest in Star Wars. But seeing little girls dress up as Rey when those movies came
I
out,
do love that. Yeah.
just what I mean, Star Wars is male heavy. We all know that, other than obviously the character that is going to come up, no doubt, again in my list even. But Rey has brought Star Wars to a new generation of young girls, and I love that. My granddaughter met Rey on the Star Cruiser over Christmas when
I was
we
gonna say, yeah,
did
at
that.
Disney World, so many little girls are dressed up like Rey, and it made
Oh
me
my
so happy to
goodness.
see.
And it was like my granddaughter had met God. Like, I've got a photo of her looking at Rey, and it is just the most
Aw.
beautiful thing. So that
I
is
love
why Rey is on my list.
So
Yeah.
I have no issues. I have no issues with how awesome she is. I have issues with how the movies she was in are not very good quality, and that's not her fault at all. Not the fault of the actress or the character. Just that
Yeah.
the sequel series is really not good. But she's good. She's a good character.
Yeah.
She's fine.
That's the thing about the sequel series is that the cast is actually pretty
The cast is good.
amazing. Like they've got
Yeah,
really amazing folks in there, but they didn't hit it.
It is the definition of studio interference and why it kills movies. They destroyed those movies. It's really terrible. It's really sad what they did to that series. It could have been so good and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fun fact, fun transition here. While Rey would not have made my list because of how disappointed I was in that series, I do have my favorite Star Wars film heroine next. And it's not who you think. It's not who you're thinking.
That's fine.
It's
Okay.
Jyn Erso.
Oh.
Oh my God!
I actually
love
was
her.
thinking that when you said not that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Rogue One was a good movie.
I was thinking because
liked it.
Angela was. I know Angela was thinking Princess Leia, but no. Jyn Erso, 100% my number one favorite Star Wars.
Do you know,
heroine.
so I added to my list just before
So
I
now you
typed
don't
it
need to
in.
talk about it. Yeah, there you go.
She's okay. So hey, no change in the list. I've already got the pick set.
Oh
But then-
no, my honorable mentions.
Oh,
I added
okay.
it
And now you don't need an honorable mention.
So
Boom.
Jyn Erso is the one case where you have a definite heroine lead, a definite female lead in a Star Wars film who is 100% the hero, 100% deserves the role. And in the case of her and the rest of the heroes from the rest of the ensemble of Rogue One, even though the rest of them are really supporting cast, they make the ultimate sacrifice, literally sacrificing themselves for the hope that the people they get the blueprints to will be able to do something worthwhile with it. Literally,
Such a good
not
movie.
even for a guarantee, just for the hope. And that's amazing to me. That movie is so good. This is 100% my
Good one.
favorite of all new Star Wars. All new Star Wars,
I agree.
of the movies, that is, not the TV shows. But of all the new Star Wars movies, Rogue One is is hands down my favorite, and
Mine
Jyn
too.
Erso is hands down my favorite Star Wars heroine. She is so awesome. Absolutely adore her and adore that movie.
I think that poster though also proves kind of why it's so hard to find like female amazing protagonists, because look at that, like you're listing them as one of your favorites, and then is there another female on that poster? No, it's all men and a robot.
As
Yeah,
usual.
the side
Like,
characters
as
were all,
usual.
yeah,
Yeah,
were all
like,
male characters. Yeah, there were no
but
other.
anyway, it's a
Mhm.
phenomenal movie. But
But she was the main. She
Yeah.
was, and you can see how big she is compared to everybody else, because she is the main character. There is an ensemble, but the rest of the ensemble are all supporting cast, with lesser amounts of screen time. Jyn Erso has the most screen time. It starts with her as a child. It follows her story. She is the protagonist, and she is great. And is it Felicity Jones who plays her?
Yeah.
She's fantastic in this. And just a shout out to, you know what? I'm gonna hold it. I have an honorable mention. That's another Felicity Jones character. Love her.
Oh.
She's a great actor. Absolutely love her. And yeah, that is why Jyn Erso is my number 5 favorite film heroine.
Can I just interject before we move on
Sure.
about Jyn Erso? And one of the reasons I love her, my grandson loved her when he saw her, and he used to dress up as her, and I think that is just the
Oh,
most adorable
cool.
thing.
That is absolutely adorable, hands down.
A little
Absolutely.
boy looking up to a female character enough to cosplay as that character.
My brother
Lovely.
looked up to Barbie, so I feel that.
Beautiful.
So going back into this list
4.
here, let's get
Yeah,
to our
number 4. So let's just keep going with the Star Wars with the super obvious pick that I'm sure everyone probably has on their list, and maybe higher, maybe the same as me. But Princess Leia, come on,
Yay.
hell yeah! I was like, she's just great. Also,
She is.
I also really appreciated, like, how she's got the little like buns and stuff on her head when they did the like Spaceballs movie, and it was like the headset. That was
Oh, yeah.
so funny, and I was like, that's a good way to spoof off of that hairstyle.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no, she's just so cool. And I mean, little weirdness with the whole sibling bit, but in general, badass. Love her.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
she's a strong, independent woman that occasionally needs a man, but most days she's probably better off.
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick.
Definitely good pick. Definitely a good pick. Riley, what's your number 4?
My number 4. It's funny. Some of these characters I had to look up their names because I was like, I have
See?
no idea what their
As hard
names
as
were.
this.
So yeah, but it's Evelyn. If anybody can name who it is before the picture pops up. No, I mean, see, nobody's gonna know, I think. But Evelyn, played by
Oh,
Oh,
So-
of course.
Did I time that well?
that was perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
she's great.
both
great.
movies incredible. Just again, like I'm not a big horror movie fan, but if it's got an amazing story like this, and
Oh god, when she stepped on the nail though, like every time you
Yeah.
kept saying that, I was like, don't do it, don't do it. And then it
No,
happened.
no.
It was like, oh. So
Yeah.
it was probably like the most.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For those who are watching this possibly later and don't know what you're talking about, what movie?
Oh yeah, A Quiet
A
Place.
Quiet Place.
There we go.
Yeah, my bad. Whoops. Yeah, like the first movie, right? She's pregnant, and that's the setup. Like that's a looming thing the entire time. Is that like they can't make noise, and this woman is pregnant. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
only is it going to be loud to have that baby, but that baby's going to be loud.
so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
give you crap for that reason alone. That is the dumbest decision in movie history, to get pregnant with that going on.
I'm
Well,
angry there.
I mean, sure, but it's Probably an
Gotta
accident.
carry humanity.
I am pretty sure there were plenty of condoms in drugstores around that they could have grabbed. I'm
It's probably
just saying.
expired by that point. It's like the future. I don't know. That's not the number
I
one
can't
thing
remember.
people would like prioritize on continuing to make in an apocalyptic future with aliens or whatever those creatures are.
Yeah.
Condoms is not number one priority. Water and food and electricity.
Plus, you got to rip it open.
Yeah.
Neither. You know what should you know what should also not be the number one priority? Having very quiet sex.
Honestly, I can't even believe the mood is like. You gotta kill time somehow. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Angela,
you go.
what is your number 4?
Oh, my number 4 is Peggy Carter, Captain Carter, Agent Carter, all of those characters. But yeah, I just love Peggy Carter. I wish that she did more and wasn't just this peripheral romance.
I like that they
sort of
did the TV show to
character.
explore her character more.
Oh, and her character's
That
so
was
good.
so good.
I'm devastated that show got cancelled.
See, and I'm sad
Yeah.
that I forgot while making this list, and so I'm glad that she is on yours.
Yeah,
She's another one that they should have given her own movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should have had her own movie.
100%.
I mean, they might. They have like all these alternate timelines where she's kind of like the Captain America. They did like a cartoon
Yeah,
movie.
she was Captain
thing.
Britain. She was
Yeah.
Captain Britain. But like, I feel like they're gonna have her pop up probably as a side character now that the multiverse is a thing. But I don't think they're gonna give her her own movie. I really don't. It doesn't feel like that at this point. She's
think
been
they
out of
cast
the
it.
movies for so long. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's great.
Yeah.
No, but great character. Absolutely great character. Peggy Carter, also Agent
so
Carter,
good.
also Captain Britain
Yes.
in the alternate timeline.
Yep.
Oh, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is you.
I've got another crossover. This one is with Riley. So Riley, we've had 2 crossovers so far. This is crazy. And this is Beatrix Kiddo. The absolute stone cold badass that is Beatrix Kiddo. The sword fighting, martial arts wielding, making your heart explode Beatrix Kiddo. She is super badass. She doesn't take shit from anybody. On her path to revenge, she cuts down over 100 people. She kills assassins and murderers and mercenaries and martial arts masters. And yeah, God, she is so cool. She is so cool while doing it. I love these movies. Those fight scenes are just some of the best over-the-top ultra violence in a almost cartoony way, but great fight scenes in cinema history. And the Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 are 2 of my favorite Quentin Tarantino films. I know he considers them a single film, but for frick's sake, you let the studio release them as 2. They're 2 movies. They're great. They're absolutely great. And Uma Thurman, in my opinion, this was the role she was born to play. It was so good. I mean, what else can I say?
I think you said it all. But also, I was laughing reading that movie poster that it like says Quentin Tarantino like multiple places. Also, the 4th film by. So in case this movie sucks, just know it's his 4th movie. Like what?
I was looking for her name on there, and I'm like, oh wait,
no,
it's got to be like down there.
It's not on her and not on
it's in the credits on the bottom. It's in the credits. But I mean, she's the poster is. But the poster is.
No, the poster is great. I just was laughing at that the whole time you were talking.
I love the Kill Bill movies. I absolutely love, and these are another pair of movies that absolutely hold up. I rewatch them probably every year. They're so good, absolutely phenomenal movies, and I love both of them. And contrary to popular opinion, I actually like the second one best. Most people like the first one best. I actually like the second one best because there's more character development in the second one. The first one's more action. The second one's got the more character development. So I actually like that one better. Personal opinion. So, Danielle, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. Yeah.
I had her on my list and she dropped off.
Oh no. Well, She stayed up pretty high in mine. I was obsessed with the Hunger Game books as a kid, but also just the fact that she was willing to sacrifice herself for her sister, but then grew into this like icon and kind of just like took it on and changed her world. Loved it. Loved Katniss.
Great
but I
character.
will say the like romantic parts, I was just like, oh, poor Peeta. There's
Peeta.
like a lot. He's just like, oh, baby. But I mean, honestly, the thing is like she didn't really need a guy, but it did help her survive a little bit in the first movie and the second. But whatever. She's great. She has some awesome archer skills and could totally be an Avenger.
I definitely think that the first one is the best.
Oh yeah.
And that the most heroic act is saving her sister.
Yeah.
That is incredibly heroic.
The second movie is also really good too. It's like the third where they like cut it into 2 movies. I'm kind of like less into, but the first 2 were very solid.
Lynn has been a big fan of the books, and she told me how much better the books are. But I generally feel like for the movies, because I watched the movies, I didn't read the books. I felt the first one was great, and then it kind of went downhill for me. But no, great pick, and I wholly agree that rescuing her sister was incredibly heroic. Yeah, absolutely. A great scene. Great freaking movie scene when she just like they're holding her back and she goes, I volunteer. Yep. I was like, oh my god.
I know she wants to say goodbye and she can't even freaking say goodbye. Like ridiculousness. Such a good movie though. Love it. I still watch it.
Jennifer Lawrence, the first action.
Let's not address how stupid that statement was.
I know.
Wait.
Oh, you didn't hear about it?
No, what did they say?
Jennifer Lawrence, like an idiot, posted this social media post that basically claimed that she was the first female action movie star. Now, there are not a lot, but her claiming that there were none before her was just like internet stupidity at its finest, and everybody busted on her afterwards, including Sigourney Weaver, who posted back saying, I'd like to thank Jennifer Lawrence for my entire career. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
That's not great. I was gonna say, because I was thinking about her as like Mystique in the newer X-Men movies, like first class ones, but not great.
No, it was a very cringe.
I'm sure she regretted it immediately and apologized profusely.
It was just one of those cringe moments of like, why don't you tell us you haven't watched enough movies from before you were born without telling us you haven't not watched enough movies?
Yeah, that does sound like a TikTok video.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like in recent years, at that time, I think she was.
Yeah. Because no offense, like Bella Swan from the Twilight movies, not a heroine. Not a heroine. I would not classify her.
No,
so like I would definitely put her. And then there's like the woman from the Divergent series, like for my age group.
But
those are like the ones that we were looking at.
If she had said something along the lines of, I was responsible for a resurgence of female protagonists. Everyone was like, okay, yeah, totally. But her being like, there were no female protagonists before me is like, no.
I still absolutely love her.
I do too.
I love her as
in movies. Oh, she was great in Silver Lining Playbook.
I was gonna say that. I considered putting her on the list because of that.
She's in a new one that's a comedy. Have you seen the trailer for that one?
No.
I can't remember the name of it, but geez, it looks good.
I'll probably watch it.
They're doing comedy. Brilliant.
Riley, who is your number 3?
Nope. Oh yeah, number 3. All right, number 3. Okay.
We're on number 3.
I just love her in Ragnarok. It's Valkyrie.
Woo!
Yeah. Tessa Thompson too, just in general. Like I love.
She's great.
Yeah. Tessa Thompson is amazing.
There she is. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good.
She's just
such a badass. Totally deserves to rule.
Exactly. Yeah. Like she's just amazing. And her character is great. Like even better than it's one of those ones where I feel like they made it way better than the comics.
This is again, give her own movie. Give Valkyrie her own movie. I love Valkyrie. I want a Valkyrie movie.
Okay, one thing that annoyed me is they kept doing like online, like little kind of teasy things that Valkyrie and like Lady Sif or like Valkyrie and Natalie Portman, or Jane Foster were gonna be like a thing or something. And I was like so disappointed when I watched the movie and that was not the case. I was like, I want my gayness.
Nothing like a little gay baiting to get the audience.
You know how they do.
You
guys know how they do.
Well, I guess
they will do anything to get your butt in the seat in the theater.
That's the thing.
They had my butt anyway, but I was like a very excited butt.
Yeah,
really sad at the end.
Waiting. Yeah,
Oh,
but
great
like
choice though.
it was still, I think, right, the first bisexual character in the MCU. So that is
I
something.
think you're right. I
think
think.
you're
Well,
Tech.
The
I
Doctor
mean,
Strange movie had the two moms in it. They also had in the Eternals the two dads.
yeah, but that might have been later.
Eternals was after.
That was
Eternals
after.
after. I know.
That
I'm
was
trying to
after.
remember like the
Pretty sure.
timeline of when things came
I
out.
think. Well, there were characters that they addressed them being LGBTQ later, like Loki. They didn't address it at all in the first couple of Thor movies. They didn't address it to the TV show.
Yeah.
But I think the first one that they actually addressed them being LGBTQ might have been Valkyrie. I think she might be, and she's such a great character too,
So cool.
which is so good. I mean, yeah, they had a two dad relationship in Eternals, but Eternals is the most forgettable Marvel movie. It's unfortunately just not. It wasn't as good as it could have been. It really wasn't. But
I'm so
Valkyrie
sad
is
because it's
freaking
male.
awesome. Valkyrie needs her own movie. I have wanted Valkyrie to have her own movie since she first appeared in the MCU. I
Yeah.
was like, oh
Oh,
my god,
absolutely.
jeez. And like I know a lot of people were excited for Jane Foster to be the new Thor and all, but I was like, when Thor eventually stops being Thor, Valkyrie needs to be the new Thor, and she needs to get her own freaking movie.
So good.
She doesn't need to become Thor. She just already is a badass.
Yeah,
she
she's
can just
good
be
being
Valkyrie.
herself.
Yeah, but they're doing this theme of like, as the old people, as their contracts run out, they make a new version of that character,
okay.
and I think she would be a great new Thor, especially since they already did the Jane Foster Thor, and she's not going to do it anymore. We all know that, without ruining why. But Jane Foster not being Thor anymore, I think Valkyrie would be a great Thor if they did not renew the contract with what's his name?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. They didn't renew the contract with Chris Hemsworth. Make Valkyrie Thor. She's freaking awesome. And Tessa Thompson is awesome. So, so there you go.
Mhm.
If you go on YouTube, because I'm assuming you don't get these ads in America, but Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie does adverts in the UK.
Oh, really?
And they're pretty funny.
Oh, no.
She's very
Definitely
cool.
gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Angela, who is your number 3, Angela?
My number 3's already been mentioned, and it's Princess / General Leia from Star Wars. Because Princess Leia, she's amazing. What's not to love? Yeah. And in an all very, very male-heavy universe, brilliant.
Fun fact. Here's a question for you. You're saying male heavy. I love the people who
male heavy.
I love the people who act like somehow they added so many females into the newer Star Wars movies, and that's a problem. How many? Here's a question, and I want to see which one of you guys get this right. How many females appear in the original Star Wars, later renamed A New Hope? How many? Anybody? Guesses?
I'd go for 2.
You're both wrong. It's between you. Riley, you got a guess?
I mean, I was gonna go for 2, but the only reason I would change it is because of them.
4.
Who else?
I was the closest.
It's 4. And because there's a pair that really only count as one because they don't even have speaking lines; they're just in the background. It's Princess Leia, Mon Mothma, who gives of course the speech before the battle. You have Aunt Beru, and you have a pair of sister bounty hunters in the bar at Mos Eisley that have 0 lines, that are only in the background. And I don't
really? I never even noticed them.
And I don't even really think they count as 2. They're really they're totally in the background. They made up a story for them in the fiction later.
So if we count them as 2, I'm right.
if we were counting them as 2, you're right. But because they don't have any lines, I just count them as 1. They're extras. They're glorified extras, really. But that's it. That's it for the original Star Wars, which is really sad. But yeah, Princess Leia is hands down the coolest of them for sure.
Yeah. And Carrie Fisher. Yeah. I mean, what a woman. Just brilliant. If you haven't read anything she's written, go and read it.
Postcards from the Edge.
Oh.
Postcards from the Edge.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Great writer.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're going to make me get emotional on that one. I'm going to get okay. Anybody else want to say anything on Princess Leia?
It's a great choice.
It is
Yeah.
a great choice. It is an absolutely awesome choice. 100% agree. Could not agree more. That is
I mean,
a
I think
fantastic choice.
right, like some of the best parts of that of the newer movies were, you know, the old cast, like
Mhm.
still killing it, and
Mm-hmm.
like Harrison Ford, wow, you did great there, champ. You know, like Carrie Fisher, killing it. Like I wish that was the movie. I wish that was the series. Just anyway.
Well, we'll get to my number 3 then. Okay, so this is another animated movie, so it would have never made Danielle's list because it is animated. This is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. This is
Is
one
it
of
a
my
Ghibli movie?
This is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie of all time. This is one of my favorite Japanese animated movies of all time. This is one of my favorite heroines of all time. She made it all the way down to my number 3.
I know what it is. I just can't think of the name. I had the action figure of this.
And this is a movie I have a long history with, which I'll touch on in a moment. The character is Nausicaa, and it is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Because so Nausicaa, again, Nausicaa is a animated princess character who goes adventuring, who fights like a badass warrior, who takes stands on her own morals and ethics, who saves her people, is kind to animals, and basically, if you feel like you know that scene in The Dark Knight Dark Knight where he says like Batman isn't the hero we need, but he's the hero we deserve. I feel like that's Nausicaa. Nausicaa is the hero we deserve. She is phenomenal. She is so amazing. She fits all the niches for me.
She flashes her bum under a skirt.
No, she's wearing pants.
Is she?
She's wearing pants.
I was thinking that is the shortest skirt I have ever seen.
She's wearing pants. That's there are some older versions of the movie where the color wasn't so good and people thought she was just wearing a short skirt. No, she's wearing like
a jacket,
like poofy pants and large boots. This is her adventuring gear because she wears that when she goes adventuring in the toxic forest during the course of the movie. So she fully covers, and then she also puts the hood up, and she wears the gas mask when she goes into the toxic forest. But no, those
I actually made that rifle that's in that picture.
Oh, that's so cool!
Oh, that's awesome.
I made that, and I made her dagger as well. I made it when I was making props. So quick
note about my crazy long history with this movie. So as a child in 1985 or 6, somewhere around there. They first brought this movie over to the U.S. in a terribly edited, terribly dubbed version called like Warriors of the Valley of the Wind. And it had a totally different name. They had cut out way too much of it. I saw most of it on television. And I was, even with the bad dubbing and the poor edit, I was enraptured. I was like, this movie is just amazing. And we had to go somewhere. I think I've told this story actually before in other videos on my channel, but we had to go somewhere. And my dad came down and he says to me, we got to go. And I said, I can't leave. I have to know what happens. And my dad looks at the TV and he goes, I'll look it up in the TV guide later. We have to go. So I was like, okay. So we left and later on, we could never find in the TV guide. And for no joke, years and years and even over a decade, I would go to VHS stores and VHS rental places and describe this movie to people and try to figure out what the hell it was so I could see the whole thing. And nobody had any idea what I was talking about until they finally re-released it under the real name, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. And I was in a Suncoast video and saw it on a shelf and was like, oh my God, it's that movie! And I lost my mind and I immediately bought it. And spoiler alert, it holds up. The full edit, the full Japanese edit is phenomenal. Highly recommend it to anyone and everyone. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is just amazing, and Nausicaa is my third favorite film heroine of all time.
Wow.
Number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2. I went with Lois Lane, but the one from the original like Superman movies. Yeah. She's so good. She kept getting herself in trouble all the time, like climbing that Eiffel Tower.
Was it Karen Allen that was
Is
in that?
Margot
Kidder.
Margot
Kidder.
Kidder. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Margot Kidder in the role she was born to play. Best Lois Lane ever.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like I had to think about it as like Lois Lane was like one of my favorite comic book characters, like even though she didn't have any powers, but in movie wise, the OG Lois is my favorite for sure.
That's adorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, she is great. Absolutely great. Riley, what is your number 2?
Okay. All right. My number 2 is again, I had to look up the name because to me she was just the mom. But Rosie is her name in the movie, and it is from Jojo Rabbit.
I've not seen that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I got a really bad picture apparently. Yeah, but she's not the main character, but she is the mom, and I don't want to like she's just amazing. You know, like they're there, Nazi Germany, little kid has an imaginary friend that's Hitler. Taika Waititi plays him, and he just wants to be, you know, like a good little Nazi until things start changing. And man, it's her like interactions with him, and I can't say anything without crying. So because Scarlett Johansson just kills it in this movie. It is one of my I like. Technically, I could probably put this at number 1 because of just how absolutely incredible
I can
she is
see it
in
in
it.
your face. I'm going to watch it now just because of your face.
I haven't seen this
I want to see.
This is one of the few I haven't seen.
Why it's affected you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
This
to watch it
movie
now.
is like incredibly well done, beautiful. It's, I mean, the Taika Waititi thing of like going from serious to crying to serious to laughing to laughing, crying. My brain's all scattered because of this, but it's just phenomenal. Like, my wife and I, we went and watched it, and it's like the first scene, she was like, "What did you just take me to?" Like, I didn't even show her a trailer because I knew she would be turned off by it because the premise seems right. Like, you know, imaginary friend is Hitler, and this is like in World War II type in Germany, right? So like that premise already would turn many people away from this film, but it's one of my absolute favorite movies by far. I want to go watch it right now. Bye.
No, you still have to do your 1. You still have to do your 1. Angela, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is probably obvious because you know my number 1's Ellen Ripley, and there's someone else that I bang on about all the time, and it's Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies. I just love that character, and I chose a very specific image when I was sending you the images for this. And this is why I love that character, because at the start of that movie, she is just a normal girl. She's got no training. She's, you know, getting ice cream put in her apron at work, and that's a big stress for her. She's just this normal, nice girl.
What
and
an
then
arc.
She's thrust into being basically the mother of the future. It's just, she's such a good character. And
What
Linda
an arc.
Hamilton, amazing.
Oh, Linda Hamilton's phenomenal. She was phenomenal in everything she was in. She was so good.
Yeah.
Real quick shout out to her. In my opinion, my favorite role of Linda Hamilton's is Beauty on Beauty and the Beast in the 80s.
Oh, I
with her
love
and Ron
that
Perlman.
show.
Oh my God, such a good show.
Although we won't go into the gender issues with that show as well, but yeah, I loved that show as well.
But she was a great.
Despite, if you watch it now, it's got numerous issues, but she was great in that.
She was great in it. She was great in it.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2, before we get into our honorable mentions, is another crossover. It's going to definitely be a 3-way crossover because we know what Angela's number 1 is. It is Ellen Ripley because, oh my God, until a few years ago, this would have been my number 1, but it's been edged out ever so slightly by something else. Ooh.
Ooh, what could it be?
But Okay, Sigourney Weaver is awesome. Ellen Ripley is awesome. The course of the first movie is another similar arc to Sarah Connor's from Terminator. She starts out as just a flight officer on a commercial towing vessel, and by the end of it, she blows a vicious alien predator out of an airlock into space with a grappling hook gun and blasts the engines on it. And in the second movie, she starts off a person who's basically with PTSD, and by the end of it, she literally has a boxing match while riding a walking forklift with an alien queen to save a little girl. Oh my God, is that not one of the most iconic scenes in movie history? That scene when she comes in and the alien queen is going after Newt and she's ripping up floor plating and Newt is running back and forth under the floor plating and she gets cornered and she rips it up and Newt is screaming and suddenly the doors come up and the queen turns and looks and she comes in the walker, walking in, and she just is like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" And oh my God, that scene. And then when she's fighting with her, she's knocking the alien queen around in the cargo bay. She's like, "Come on! Come on!" Oh my God.
Great.
She was everybody's hero.
Written for a man, though. We should point that out. Written for a man.
Oh, originally,
I didn't know that.
Originally
Ripley
written
was
for a
supposed to be a man.
Oh.
That is a fun fact.
And they didn't change the script. And that probably made that character, as great as it is now. Because
100%. They didn't change the script at all.
If you put a guy into that movie, it's just another horror sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's Ripley just changed the whole dynamic of that film.
That series would have not been what it was without Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver was amazing. She is amazing. And those movies are amazing.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to our number ones, we had some requests for some honorable mentions. Who would like to go first on the honorable mentions?
I can power through all my random ones because I jotted them down if I didn't already say them.
Go ahead.
Okay, so both women from Scooby-Doo, Velma and Daphne.
Okay.
Yes, great.
From the movies. From the movies.
From the movie. Literally everything. They're all great. Celine from Underworld, the vampire.
How did I forget Celine?
Yeah, or
and
Kate.
Sonia.
Yeah, yeah. See, and Kate from Dodgeball. I fucking love Dodgeball. It's such a good movie. And then I was thinking because I made the comment of Legally Blonde being a musical, and I was like, oh no shit, there's so many good musicals, but like from Hairspray. Tracy Turnbull. I was like, I always think of her. Every time I go to Baltimore, I play that song. So that is my quick power through of some people. Oh, wait. And Hermione Granger from, Harry Potter. I know, right?
That's pretty cool.
Totally forgot about these people. Sorry. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Those are some great
Good
ones.
job.
Riley, what do you got for some honorable mentions?
I just have one that hasn't been mentioned. So, I want them to be on. This is the thing, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't like this because we might end up saying someone's number one.
It's okay, though. We're just briefly mentioning them. We're not going to. I
can't imagine this will be anyone's number one, but maybe.
Go ahead.
But being part Native American, I really wanted to have Amber Midthunder in there, but I haven't seen Prey yet. I've been trying to convince Kimmy to watch it with me, and so I kept putting it off. And I hear that it's amazing, but Amber Midthunder in Banshee, she's only in 2 episodes. One of the coolest characters in that series.
Banshee.
Yeah, that one has the Anthony Starr, Homelander. He's the main character.
Okay.
Anyways,
he's great.
Yeah, and then on Legion, she's like the badass in Legion, and
who does she play in Banshee? She's not the Native American girl that has the fight in the car, is she?
Yeah.
That is the best fight scene on television.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It is.
How did they do that?
Right?
Madness. Yes, I love her. Great, great addition.
Her character, only 2 episodes, but
I feel like she was in more than 2.
Right?
She was so
powerful.
Wow.
She was a strong character, and
you need to YouTube that fight scene, guys, because that is insane. The choreography in that, mad, good choice. I like that. Did you have any others?
I mean, the other ones were ones that you all mentioned. I had Hermione on there, right? Like classic.
Sorry,
No, that's great. You know, I had
also Catwoman. I wasn't sure if I should include her because she was like
Oh.
anti-hero.
Oh,
Or like
that's a good
Harley
one.
Quinn. Same with that
Which
one with like all the.
Yeah, but say which Catwoman?
Harley Quinn's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Say
There's
which
a lot.
Catwoman?
Like there's because there's like
There's
the
a
Halle
lot.
Berry one. There's
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No,
Michelle
that's
Pfeiffer.
not
Right.
the one she chose. Which one?
No,
Say it.
no.
Say which Catwoman.
Why am I blanking out on her
The Dark
name?
Knight Rises Catwoman.
Oh yeah, The Dark Knight Rises. But I was like, what is the actress's name? Why am I?
Oh.
It's getting late for me. My brain's like melting a little.
Is it Zoe Kravitz?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
I was
There
we go.
obsessed with her. Oh, also I loved her in Ella Enchanted. She was definitely great in that movie. It was like my favorite, one of my favorites growing up.
Angela, I know you got a bunch. What are your honorable
I
mentions?
haven't actually got a bunch. It was actually Danielle made me think of these.
Go ahead.
Randomly when she was chatting. Laurie Strode from Halloween.
Oh, good one.
I don't know how I forgot her because she's superb. I haven't seen the last one, so I'm not sure what her fate is. But if they kill her off, I am going to be so annoyed.
I feel like that'd be kind of fucked up to make
Yep.
that many movies to kill her.
They've already killed her off once and then retconned it. I'm just saying.
As they
That
should.
series is so ridiculous with no
As they
freaking
should.
continuity.
I just love Jamie Lee
Because
Curtis.
they killed her off in the
She's-
original series before they retconned, and when the sequel came out, they pretended none of the when the new sequel came out, they pretended none of the other sequels ever happened because they had already killed her off in the other sequels. They killed
I
her
don't
off.
even remember her being
Yeah.
killed off. But
She
anyway,
She was killed off
she's
in.
great.
I can't remember what the name in the movie was, but it was the one right after Halloween H2O, when they did the whole original series, which those ones just got sillier and sillier as they went.
Oh.
But they killed her off in the beginning of that freaking movie, which was ridiculous. But then they retconned all of that for
As they should.
the late sequel Halloween. So
I really,
Yeah.
really wanted to have Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I literally went through her IMDb and I was like, oh, that's a TV show. Oh, that's a TV show. Oh, that one, she doesn't qualify. Oh, I was just like, oh, I really want her on my list.
And
Yeah,
any-
she's good.
any more for you?
Yeah, my other one was Becky. I don't know if you've seen the movie Becky. It stars Lulu Wilson. She's just this young girl. I follow her on Instagram. She's adorable. She's a teenager. But in Becky, one of the movies that I'm sure it was Danielle was talking about, her family basically end up in trouble. Or maybe it was us. Her family basically end up in troubling times, and she just goes nuts and takes out the bad guys, this little girl. And the new movie Becky 2 is releasing, I think, this month or maybe next month. And it looks like way over the top. It looks like they've gone mad with that character. But Becky, that's a good film.
I don't even know what that is. I'm looking it up right now because
No, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Any
Does
more?
it even look
BECKY. Becky.
Any more honorable mentions for you, Angela?
Oh no, those two popped into my head.
So all right, so Sarah Connor, Terminator, almost made my list. Celine from Underworld almost made my list. Honorable mention. Elvira from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the first of her 2 movies, almost made my list. So close to making my list. Next, I have Vanessa from Freeway. This is Reese Witherspoon almost making my list with Vanessa from Freeway, where she is a bizarre, twisted, modern retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, where the wolf is a serial killer and Little Red Riding Hood is a girl from the hood. Phenomenal movie if you haven't seen it.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of Freeway? I highly recommend
Never.
checking it out. It's Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland. Phenomenal flick. So weird, very surreal, but really good flick. Also, another one that almost made my list was Jill from Hardware. Love Hardware. Great sci-fi thriller. Again, great arc. Starts off as a lady who basically never leaves her house and works on art projects in the dystopian post-apocalyptic future. And by the end of it, she smashes a military assassin droid to bits in her shower. Love that movie. Love Hardware. Hardware is so good. Almost made my list. And finally, everyone from Annihilation almost made my list.
Oh, I didn't really. Yeah.
Annihilation was so good. But and that includes Tessa Thompson. That includes what's her name who played Jane
Natalie
Foster?
Portman.
Natalie Portman. Such a great ensemble cast in that. Love
Oh, yeah.
Annihilation. So that's my honorable mentions. Shall we get to our number
Hi.
one?
Hey, Matt. By the way, we have someone in
Matt.
the chat.
Oh, hold on.
You're joining us right as we get to
I
our
need to
number
see
one.
Freeway. Yes, we are going to do our number ones. Feel free to go back and watch our 9 through 2s, though. There were a lot of really good entries. 100% recommend.
And start throwing yours out. Your
but-
favorite heroines. But
yeah, that's but yeah, we this has been a really great set of lists so far. Danielle, drum roll for Danielle's number one.
All right, so my number one is Wonder Woman from the Wonder Woman movie,
Oh,
Gal Gadot.
What?
'Cause she's just so freaking epic. Like, oh my god, I got goosebumps when like they did like the music and she's like going out onto the battlefield and just like, oh god, it was so good. It was such a good movie. Like anytime someone's like DC doesn't make good movies, I was like, that's a good movie. Like that's a good,
I hate
more
myself
recent
right now.
DC movie.
Linda Carter will always be my Wonder Woman. That said, this was a good movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, they're both terrific, but oh my god, she's just so badass.
Wonder Woman.
I want to be Wonder Woman. I have a ton of stuff with Wonder Woman. Like I have a statue up here too, and love.
So great. Such a great
Love.
first choice. Absolutely awesome. You know what? No, that was really well done. And Gal Gadot was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, and I love the cameo that they had with Linda Carter, later on. So good.
well, they did like
So
a
good.
setup, right? Weren't they setting her up to be like a character?
Yeah, they did. And I'm so excited because my whole family used to watch like the old school television show and stuff. And my brother used to do like the Wonder Woman spin, and it makes me really happy to think about that memory.
Oh, it was classic. It was classic. It was so good.
So good.
All right, Riley, you're number one.
Oh, my number
roll.
one. For sure I should get some crap for this, but I chose Spider-Gwen. So animated
Spider-Gwen.
Into the
I love
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Gwen.
I think just phenomenal. I absolutely love her, and I love it because you have Miles Morales, who is kind of newer, and he makes kind of a fool of himself in front of her, but she's just like this amazing character, an amazing hero from the very beginning, like just phenomenal. Like she doesn't need saving, right? Like,
So fun fact, I lost 60 pounds to wear the cosplay spandex suit for Spider-Gwen.
what?
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
It wasn't even
Dedication.
to lose a certain amount of weight. It was to just like get in really good shape to wear that costume. And it just happened to be I
Dedication.
lost 60 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
So like fun fact, she is a role model and a gym model for me.
Oh,
Like,
well
gotta
done.
be good at
That's
this.
crazy.
I know. I do rock
Well
climbing
done.
too. So I like straight up and trying to be her.
Oh yeah.
That's brilliant.
My well, it wasn't. I haven't rock climbed for like a decade and a half, but my chalk bag was Miles Morales.
Oh, cool.
So-
Mine's a gay cat.
Oh, I love
Angela,
it.
we are up to your number one, and we all know what it is. Go ahead.
Because it's the best female hero ever, Ellen
I
Ripley.
mean, it ended up on 3 out of 4 lists. So.
I love that you used from the first Alien too. The pick from the first Alien. That is great.
Oh, yeah. I fell in love with that character, and it never stopped until Alien 3 came out, and then I just ignore those films.
To be fair, issues with Alien 3 aside, Ellen Ripley is still awesome in Alien 3.
Oh, I just love that
Sigourney Weaver is
character.
great. Even if you have issues with Alien 3, I'm just saying.
Sigourney Weaver would be great sitting on a chair watching paint dry. You would watch her.
I would watch
She's
that.
just, there's something very magnetic
I love
about
one in my
her
life.
as an actress. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd watch her and Kate Winslet do that.
Watch them watch paint dry.
Yeah, definitely.
Here you go.
Fair enough. Anything else you wanted to add about Ripley before we move on?
Just that I love that character, and more so with the first film with Alien. I actually studied that film at uni, and there's so many wonderful little details in that movie that refer to social things, class and gender, and there's a lot there to unpack. If you watch that film and you think of the way the decks are laid out and who's working there and what their opinions are of Ripley and things like that, it's just it's got a lot of depth, and the character, I just love that character. Like, listen to the women. If they'd listened to her, it wouldn't have happened.
She had the right
and again,
idea.
in Aliens, if they'd listened to her, but they weren't interested. Female voice.
It's really
Just
true.
Zip it.
You know, it's funny though, because like you mentioned, she was originally supposed to be a guy, and they did not change that script.
Yeah.
It made undertones that were never intended to be in the script so amazing by not changing the script after they cast Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, and that's down to Ridley Scott, really. So, yeah. And he makes a lot of very sort of testosterone-y films as well. But
he has, yeah.
More power to him for keeping Ripley as a woman. Yeah, brilliant.
So my number one is a crossover. Anybody hazard a guess on who my number one might be?
You haven't said Sarah Connor yet, have you?
It's not her. She was one of my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you what. It is a crossover with you.
With me?
It is a crossover with you.
I'm looking now. I don't know.
It's one of yours. You're gonna love it.
Is it Peggy Carter?
No.
Oh.
It is absolutely 100% Lorraine from Atomic Blonde. I adore this frickin' movie. Oh. This movie is, that's why I said only until a few years ago it still would have been Ripley. Atomic Blonde is the only thing that made a heroine, only film that made a film heroine that I felt finally surpassed Ripley as my favorite film heroine. And it was hard. I have never had until just like a few years ago. I think this movie came out like just like 3 or 4 years ago. Until then,
5 years ago?
Maybe 5, yeah. 3 to 5 years ago, somewhere around there.
It's 2017.
Okay, 5 years ago. Oh, you were right on the money. Until Atomic Blonde came out, from the 80s to then, never had anyone surpass Ripley. And the thing is, okay, so as Angela was talking about earlier when she was referencing Atomic Blonde, such amazing fight scenes. But it's not just how amazing they are. They choreographed fight scenes with a female protagonist where you have no doubts in your mind that is exactly how it would have gone down. The way they did it, the specific moves they chose, the smart way that she fights is just mind-blowing. She uses her environment to her advantage. When she's fighting bigger, stronger people, she uses anything around her. She stabs a guy with a corkscrew in the eye. She hits a guy with a ladder in the throat. She throws her entire body into fight moves and never gives up, even when she's injured, even when she's exhausted, never gives up and keeps fighting beyond the red line, like way past the red line. Keep fighting at 110%. And on top of that, even if you go past the action, she is a person that is always,
I was going to say that,
6 steps ahead of everyone else in the room.
Smart.
She outsmarts everyone. She plays the major nations of the Cold War like freaking chumps. She is so good. This is one of the best spy epic action movies of all time. Definitely the best one in the last 20, 30 years. If you have not...
there's rumors, Josh, they're bringing another one out.
Oh, God, I will. I'm there. I'm already sold. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You bring back that character and you do another movie with Lorraine from Atomic Blonde, I am there. I love Atomic Blonde. If you have not seen Atomic Blonde, watch Atomic Blonde. Oh my God, that movie is so
I was going to
good.
say, although we've banged on about the fight scenes, which are just ridiculous.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
She's smart.
Oh,
it's not just about that. She's very clever.
She's only caught in being outsmarted once in the entire movie. It's believable why. But generally speaking, she is 6 steps ahead of everybody else in the room at most points. And even when she gets outsmarted, she still turns the table on the person who outsmarted her. She still manages to do it. She's so good. What a phenomenal film protagonist. What a phenomenal film heroine. Yeah, I absolutely, in my opinion, this is the role that Charlize Theron was born to play. So good. I've been a big fan of hers going all the way back since she first switched from being model to actor. But as awesome as I've loved every other role she has done, and I even liked her turn as Aeon Flux, which a lot of people crap on. But as much as I've liked everything else she's done, oh my God, Atomic Blonde is the best. So
And
good.
Mighty Joe Young. Mighty Joe Young. That's a
Wow.
great
I remember
film.
that
She's
with the
so
giant
cute in
gorilla.
that, with her curly hair.
I mean,
Well-
I was looking at like A Million Ways to Die in the West. I loved her in that. Like,
Oh, that was funny.
yeah, like, and
Yeah.
she's teaching the guy how to be a hero, essentially, right? Like, so she's still a badass in that. Just
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Furiosa. Yeah,
Oh, she's
Furiosa
great.
was on the list earlier.
That was
she's
my Charlize Theron pick.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road is absolutely fantastic, and it was one that almost made my list. Absolutely. Matthew chimed in. Furiosa, absolutely also almost made my list. But yeah, it was on Riley's list. There you guys have it. Those are our top 10 favorite film heroines. I think we had a lot of really great picks.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
They were okay.
Amazing picks on here. I gave a couple of you guys crap, but that's all in good fun because I love you. But this was a great list. And it was really fun to do. If you guys are watching this later, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are watching this now, thank you for joining us in the chat. Thank you for watching with us. Let's see. Oh, well picked, Riley. I'll have to go back and watch. Yes, please do. I did a little bit of an error. I put the release as being the wrong time. If you're watching this later, my fault. I put the release as the wrong time and the wrong date. So a lot of people probably did not get the alerts from YouTube that this was going live when it was. So I'm sure more people will watch this later than when it was live. So if you're watching it later, I hope you really enjoyed our picks. Feel free to comment down below. Let us know what your favorite film heroines are. Let us know who are the most badass film heroines of all time, in your opinion. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy those movies. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. Check out Angela's YouTube channels. Again, that is Board Game Gran and Girly Gamer. Check out Riley's podcasts, which are awesome. It's the Board Game Community Show, as well as Bunkers and Badasses. Both of them are awesome. Check out Danielle's new awesome game, Her Story, in stores now. And I'm going to be, after this stream, I'm going to be adding to the links below. The link, again, to get it for way discounted of $19.19 US. So check that out. Pick it up.
For the rest of March. For anyone tuning in now.
It's for the rest of March. Yes, check that out for the rest of March.
Month.
Indeed, which we unfortunately only have a couple days left on that. So I hope you guys are able to get it in time. But if you don't get it in time, also FYI, at some point I will have a review and tutorial coming for that game. So I hope you check that out also. I can't wait. And until next time, game on, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.